These then the finalists in the women's double sculls, with the defending champions Germany in lane 3. They, together with Romania, qualifying directly to this final. In lane 1, closest to us, Annabel Ayres in the bow, Alison Gill in the stroke seat for Great Britain. Underlining the continuing improvement of the Chinese in this sport, yet another final crew. And this is Xiaoli Gu in the stroke seat, behind her Huali Lu. Interesting to see how that double gets on, particularly against this next pair, the defending champions Beate Schramm and Katrin Boron. They won this title last year, but Schramm really one of the great outstanding oarswomen. Olympic and 3 world titles to her credit, and we'll see them no doubt in close-up action later on. Then Romania, with Elisabeta Lipa looking for gold here, as she will be later on in the single sculling event. Anisora Dobre, her colleague in the bow seat. Then to the Soviet Union. The Soviets, well, they took the silver medal in this discipline last year, but this is a new partnership into the final here.
China, ready?
And finally, completing the lineup out in lane number 6, the Bulgarians, Galina Kamenova and Galina Yakharova.
Ready? Bulgaria, ready? Are you ready? Go!
Whew, that was a smart start by the British.
Yeah, they got very quickly away, but here the Germans, who are so dominant in this event, with Beate Schramm at stroke, very, very powerful and one of the all-time greats in world rowing, in the stroke seat, and they powering away there and getting into their stride. Very well together, and the Chinese right alongside them. Well, it didn't really help them, that quick start for the British, because they're now just about in last place alongside Bulgaria.
And it's the Romanians who are closest to the Germans, although the Germans have got about a quarter of a length at this moment. The Chinese just about in 3rd place, contesting that with the Soviet crew in red in lane 5, and then the final pairing, Great Britain, just perhaps ahead of the Bulgarians. But already, as we expected, the 2 crews that qualified directly into the final, they're setting out to battle for the medal. The Germans, Beate Schramm and Katrin Boron. Meanwhile, out in lane 6, a chance to see the Bulgarians. And they, I suppose one has to say, as we've talked about a little earlier, Dan, suffering from lack of finance and resources, which doesn't make the coaching and the training any easier.
No, it's been very difficult for all the Eastern Bloc countries. But here on the far side, Romania showing that their sculling is far, far better than their rowing at the moment, with Elisabeta Lipa, such a good single sculler, putting them under enormous pressure. The Russians too, always powerful scullers. And here's a new combination, very strong through the middle of the stroke. You can see that good connection through the stroke to the finish.
British double. Alison Gill persuaded into this double with Annabel Ayres. Alison very much favours single sculling.
Yes, they've done very well to get to this final. They're again a new combination. They fought very hard to do the double together, and here they are working hard alongside the Chinese. That's Annabel Ayres in the bow, Alison Gill at stroke. Big girls, both of them, and they have a lot of potential for the next few years.
In the Lucerne regatta, they came up against the Germans and the Bulgarians. They were down in 4th place. The Germans won that comfortably. Romania in 2nd place, and they've got about 3/4 of a length to make up on the Germans, who look very comfortable already.
Elisabeta Lipa in the Romanian crew at stroke. She's also going to be doing the single later on in the regatta, so she's got a lot of work to do. It's a very hard job to try and enter both 2 events. But here are the Chinese, as we've said, newcomers to this high level and doing so well to make the finals, rowing very long indeed. They don't look big girls, but they are very, very powerful through the middle of the stroke. A lot of leg drive.
And
lying 3rd at the moment.
The other feature of the Chinese crews is really the average age. both in the men and the women. They've got a group of athletes coming through from junior status, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And my goodness, when they start to show this sort of form, what threats they're going to be in the Olympic Games in the years ahead. Well,
within China, the sport is growing at a remarkable rate. Only 3 states were rowing up until a couple of years ago. Now 23 of the territories are rowing. It's the fastest growing sport in China. But here is Schramm. Absolutely majestic, totally in control, totally in command, watching the Romanians, but knowing that she is top of the tree.
Both of them pretty tall athletes, Beata 1.86 m and Katrin 1.83 m.
You can see there that the skulls are not so well together in the Romanian crew. They're a bit ragged, and that is unusual for these rangy, tall Romanians. Usually they're very, very well disciplined, but they're still going very fast, but they have lost out an awful lot in their training. But they are putting the Germans under pressure, only half a length in it, and now it's the Russians and the Chinese battling it out for the bronze medal position, but well out of contention for the leading 2 medals.
And indeed, also struggling at this moment, the British and the Bulgarians. I suppose that might have been expected. But the Romanians haven't given in yet. It was 3/4 of a length. It's closer to half now. But still, Schramm looks in control.
She's so big, Schramm. Look how huge she is. And she doesn't really have to stretch out the way most people do for her length. She's got her length naturally with those long arms, those long levers, arms and legs. But they are putting her under pressure. In the last 500 meters, can the Romanians do it? They've got a lot of power still in the middle of their stroke. They're still working very hard, but Schramm is beginning to open up. She's stretching now. You can see her stretching forward a bit more. She's been coasting, and look, she's moving away now with every stroke. That is a remarkable move. She just waited there for her moment, and she's taken half a length in the last 25-30 strokes, and she's got a length now.
And the Chinese here doing great work towards the business end of the race. The Russians, who had the lead coming into the final quarter, have been overhauled by the Chinese, and are the Chinese on their way to a famous bronze medal. Having said that, just at that moment, the Russians upped their game.
Yeah, indeed. The Russians are very experienced. They're not going to let that happen, but it's quite a battle there for them, quite a battle. She's pushed the rate right up, Schramm. They're moving along really quite. It's difficult water. You can see the popple on the water. The water's bubbling away there, but Schramm has got it. She's well clear now, over a length up in front, and they're moving away with every stroke. Up around the 36 mark now, and moving away.
So third from the right are the German double. Third from the left are the Romanians. Next to the Romanians on the left are the Soviet Union, but it's the Germans who are going to come through for this gold medal. That picture angle, a little deceptive. You'll see the margin is a bit greater than that. The Russians finishing to great purpose on the far side to make sure of getting the bronze and trying to give the Romanians a fright for silver. They really are pulling over the Romanians, who can't do any more, but they've done enough. The Germans take the gold, the Romanians the silver, the Soviet Union take the bronze, with China a very respectable 4th place, and they're out on the far side, Bulgaria, who get the better of the British, who will finish 6th. So a 4th world title for Beata, a 3rd world gold medal for Katrin. Pretty impressive, Dan.
Majestic, absolutely majestic. She is so impressive, and look out for her at the Olympics again next year.
Russians, nice finish there, but perhaps left it a little bit late.
They moved very fast in the last 500 meters, the Russians. They found something very spectacular there, and they closed right up on the Romanians, but the Germans were uncatchable. And they worked hard for it too.
Confirmation of the results: Germany the gold, Romania the silver, the Soviet Union the bronze. That's the first medal for the Soviet Union. China, again, another good result from them.
World champion for 1991 in women's double sculls.
So Katrin and Beata, no strangers to being centre stage. These 2 ladies who formerly represented the German Democratic Republic so well, now representing a united Germany. And who's to say they won't collect Olympic gold in Barcelona? And plenty of support from them here, and being rewarded their 2nd gold medal, Germany, of the championships so far.